Hey everybody, my name is Anissa and I am getting ready to join the blocks on my quilt. This is actually the last row that I'm going to join, and I know there have been questions about how to do it, so I'm going to show you how, and if you have any questions you can ask. Sorry, my dog. And then I'll try to answer when we're finished. So I've cut, let me see if I can flip this real quick. So right here is a 2-inch strip. It's going to go on the front, and here is a 1-inch strip that I cut. It's going to go on the back.
There you go.
Sorry, trying here. So what you do, I'm going to hand the camera over to my husband now. He's going to help out. So if it's messed up, blame him. Just kidding. Okay. So what I'm going to do is take this 2-inch strip, iron it in half. So now I'm ready to attach. So the 1-inch strip right here is going to go, I'm going to move the block, is going to go on the back of this block that's already been quilted and everything. So I need to make sure I'm going to do this correctly. So I'm going to go this side because I'm going to attach more. So I'm going to take my 2-inch strip that I had originally and ironed in half, and I'm just going to clip that on. You can use pins. I use them sometimes, but I got this bag of clips, which I love these clips now. I got this bag of 100 off of Amazon for $25. If you go to Joann's, they're like 50. So go to Amazon. And then I'm going to flip my block over, and I am going to put the 1-inch strip now. I'm going to butt it up to the very raw edge, and keeping my other 2-inch strip on the front here, I'm just going to butt them up. And just clip it on. Okay, so it'll be just like pinning it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my sewing machine and I'm just going to sew straight down. Now you can use a 1/4-inch foot, but I am using my walking foot because my walking foot can go through all of the layers, and I haven't had any problems with it. So let's hope and pray there's no problems with it now. So all I do is just line that edge up of my foot. I know it's not 1/4 inch, but I'm just going with it, and it's working for me. So I just start sewing, and then I stop, and then I keep going. Now, I'm a marathon sewer, so you can go as slow as you need to go, but I'm going to go probably a little fast. You want to make sure that your 2 pieces of fabric are staying lined up. Mine's doing okay, so I'm not worried about it. It's probably not going to be perfect. That's okay. I'm not worried about that either. And then I'm just going to go, and then I'm done. Okay? Cut the fabric, or the thread. Alright, so now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to iron the back strip. I'm going to iron it like that. So you can want to come over and set the seam. Okay. And now we're ready to attach our next block. So we're not going to do anything with this right now. We're just going to focus on attaching the other block to it. So my next block is this block. And you want to do it like this. So you want to have your back sides together. Okay? When you're doing Quilt As You Go with this method. So now it's attached to the back. And I got my front, and I'm going to again clip, because I want to make sure that this edge, that raw edge lines up with my other raw edge of my new block. You also want to make sure that if you're doing a quilt like this where you have images that are going in the same direction, that you have them going the same way and not upside down like I almost did on my other one. The other thing is too, is with this one I cut my block a little bit short. So yeah, that's kind of a problem. But I'm not worried about it because every little quilt has imperfections, and this one will too. So I just keep going. No worries, I'll fix it when it comes time for it. Sorry, gotta make sure that edge is on there. There's that. And then I do like to clip the quilt, the blocks together, just so they don't move when I'm sewing. Now we're ready to go. So we're going to come over, put this right here, and we're going to sew straight now. So you're going to have to maneuver it just a tad, and you want to start just a little above where your quilt's going to start. It's a little tough to get it going at first, but once you go, that will fit just right in there, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And there you have it. So my foot is right on the edge, but I can see where it's going, that it's not sewing right here. Okay, now I'm going to stop because this looks like it's a little bit off. Just going to stretch that fabric over just a tad. And I'm just going to keep going. I lied. I'm not going to just keep going. Alright. And that is done. So now what I do next is I'm going to unclip my two blocks, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to press this seam down. Now some people will cut it, and that's fine. It is pretty bulky, so I do understand that. And then you're just going to fold over on your front side that 2-inch strip that you had originally sewed. You're going to just press that down. Okay. Keep pressing until you're almost flat. And mine is a little off, and that's okay. Again, not too worried about it, because the only person that's going to notice it really is you. So then I do like to clip it again, just to make sure that it stays in place while I'm sewing. You can also pin it. I probably should pin this one. I'm not going to. And you bring it back over to the sewing machine, and we're going to sew kind of close to the edge, like right here, or you can do it right at the edge. I'm terrible at right at the edge, so I'm going to sew a little bit like right in here. About 1/8 of an inch in. Straight stitch. Okay. And that is just going to hold your seam down. Now I'm going to stop because now I'm starting to get some black there. Okay, next, I like to do something a little different when I do this. So I'm not going to cut the threads. I'm just going to flip this, and because I did with one of my machine built-in stitches, I'm going to go back to that stitch and I'm going to stitch over this piece. And it just gives it a nice decorative finish. Some people do a straight line on the other side. They'll do a straight stitch. That's fine too, but for this quilt in particular, this is how I'm going to do it. And my sewing machine sounds like that because it's going through several layers of fabric, which is why a locking quilt for this is great. Okay, whoops. I thought I had my needle down, I didn't. So that's done. All right, so now I'm ready to join the next block, which I'm going to show you. So since I'm working with two different colors and mine is a bookcase, I'm going to use this color of strip. It's 2 inches, and again, that's just we're gonna do it just the same way we did the other one before. Okay. I know there have been questions about how to join rows when the quilt gets bigger, and I will, after this video, will show you when I get to that point if I can iron. See, don't be like me and iron screwy. Once I get all my strips cut and ready to join, I'll do a real video and show you how to do that, because it can be a little tricky at times. So again, raw edges to the front, because this is separating, like I said, I'm making a bookshelf. So this is the color of my bookshelf, and the next block that I will join will be a darker color, but this part is not part of that bookshelf, so I don't want to have brown strips going down the middle when they don't belong there. And this is the color of my background fabric for that shelf. So then, again, we're going to take another 1-inch piece. I've got pieces everywhere. And I'm going to cut that. And then I'm just going to take my raw edge and I'm going to line up here. See if I can keep my hands from shaking because I'm a little bit nervous. All right, so now we're going to go back to now don't do what I did earlier, which is sew it up like this. Make sure that your strips are really straight, okay? Because that's easy to do. So now I'm going to go back to my sewing machine, only this time I need to change out my thread. Otherwise we're going to have brown thread on top of a almost cream colored strip. I don't really want that. I've already made that mistake once and had to seam rip. That's not fun. Seam ripping is not fun. Sorry. Okay, now we're good to go. So now I've got my machine set back on straight stitch. I'm going to put my foot down. I'm going to press my needle down. And I'm going to start. And I'm going to stop because this thread is in the way. I don't like it. I'm going to have to go a little bit more. There we go. All right. And the beauty of this is that you don't need a fancy schmancy machine to do this. Like I said, all of this quilting on here, I did either a stitch in a ditch or I did it with my machine decorative stitches. There's no right or wrong way to do a quilt. It's however you want to do it. So don't let anybody tell you that there is. I've have made many quilts many different ways, and look what I was talking about. See that right there? I messed up. So very carefully, I'm going to take my scissors and just nip at that. Okay? But I'm not worried. I'm really not worried about this because when I fold it over, it's still going to be fine. Right? So I'm just actually going to cut that part off. Like I said, there's no wrong or right way, and there's mistakes in every single quilt. No such thing as perfect. Okay. You're going to come back, you're going to press. Okay. You're going to press that back side out. You want to press it pretty good so you can line it up with your block, your next block. And this is my next block. Okay.
They're saying it's too quiet, so talk a little louder.
Oh, you need me to be a little bit louder? Okay.
It's up as loud as that
Okay,
part goes.
I'll try to talk louder. Sorry. Okay, so here is my next block. Sorry, upside down. All right. So now I'm going to attach this block back sides together. All right. Can you hear me better now?
I don't know.
Can you hear me better now? So I'm going to attach here, all right? And then I'm going to use my clips again, clip it, raw edges to the back, and we're gonna use that. And then I'm going to make sure that my blocks are kind of even, which they really are. Like I said, I cut mine. One's bigger than the other, so might screw up, but not worried about it. That's how I sew.
Is that a small ironing board is what somebody's asking?
Yes, it is actually. Let's talk about the ironing board. So I got this ironing board at Joann's. Pull that off real quick.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Over on that side.
I got this at Joann's. It was on sale, and on the other side of it is actually a pressing board, and then on this side it's a cutting board. But I like to use it as just a an ironing board because I hate pulling out my big one unless I'm doing big quilts. Which, as this quilt gets bigger, I'm sure I'm going to have to pull out my ironing board. And the case actually that you're looking at here, I actually made this little cover, and then you just tuck it and you got a little ironing board. So I got this this idea for my ironing board. I got this actually from Jenny at Missouri Star Quilt Company. She is awesome. She has taught me how to sew so much. I love Jenny Doan. She's the greatest. So anyway. And the iron, just so you know, this iron is actually pretty amazing too. The cord, it moves around. This one, I think it has 5-foot cord or something like that. But this is actually an iron that they use for quilting. And when you touch it, it automatically goes down. And then when you're not touching it, it pops back up. So it never burns anything. Plus, it also has its own shutoff. And it's called an Aliso, and this iron is new for me, and I absolutely love it. And I got this also at Joann's on clearance for like $59 a couple weeks ago, which is really rare because they're like $100 minimum. So keep your eyes out if you want one. They're really great. All right, so now we're going to come back and we're going to stitch right here. Just on that edge where, you know, I told you to just stick your foot in there, your walking foot or your 1/4-inch foot, whatever foot you're going to use. All right? So now we're going to start that. And I'm just going to start straight stitching. You have to give a little push to help it because sometimes these things don't like to cooperate with me. I'm not worried. I'll just keep going. Down the seam here. And we're almost to the end. we're done there. And now we need to go and iron again. It's a lot of ironing. It's a lot of press. So impressed, so impressed. So if you hate ironing, quilting. That's all it is. Pressing. So I'm going to just press down that seam right here that we have created.
So Patricia is asking, when using your walking foot, do you use the dog feet below too?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Patricia, I do. The only time I drop my my feed dogs is if I'm using the darning foot, the quilting foot. That I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is the foot that I use for quilting. It's got an open loop in here so that you can follow around and make the designs and do freehand quilting, or free motion quilting, sorry. And so that would be the only time that I would drop my feed dogs, is if I was using this little foot.
Oh.
Okay. 1/4 inch foot. Let's go over that real quick too, because some may not know. This is a 1/4 inch foot. People actually use this foot to piece quilts. I use this foot to piece my quilts. And then you can also use it to do quilt as you go, to stitch like we're doing with here, with joining these blocks. But I find that the walking foot is so much easier because it goes through so many layers of fabric. Whereas this one, you're going to be kind of fighting it. I have made quilts using Quilt As You Go using this foot. Trust me, it is a nightmare. The other foot that you can use is all-purpose foot. It's a little bit wider. It's not 1/4 inch. I'm not sure what it is, to be honest with you. I have a little black mark on mine, so that just kind of guides me. Although my sister used it the other day and told me I need to make that black mark darker. So, I don't know, but anyway, so those are the feet that I use. And so now we're going to come back over here. Sorry, hon. You're doing good. Thank you. Thank you to the cameraman. He wasn't prepared to do this. He's just doing this, being a sweetheart, so I can show you guys how to do it. All right. Needle down. We're going to straight stitch, and we're not going to be, this is where you want to be right at the edge again. Like I said, I don't go right to the edge because, well, it doesn't work for me. Just kind of stitch down. Right color thread in there. Like I said, I'm a marathon seller, so if my machine sounds like it's going to fall apart, it's just me. I sew very fast.
Catherine is asking, what size are your strips that you're using for joining?
Okay, so the front strip that I'm using is 2 inches, and the back side, this one, is 1 inch.
All right.
Okay, but you want to iron, so make sure that what you do when you go to, what was I going to say? Losing my train of thought here. When you're making your 2 inch strips, you want to iron them in half, which then they will also become a 1 inch strip. But you want to cut them as 2 inch strips and then iron them in half. I'll do it again because I have one more to go. Okay.
All right, Catherine, stay on.
Yep, stay on, Catherine. We're almost there. So I'm just going to do my stitching for the top stitch my strip, because that's what I do. Okay, we're done with that. We're going to attach the last strip. dropping everything.
So one more time on the feed dog. Do you drop them or no? There you go, Sharon. That helps.
No. No dropping the feed dogs. I'm using the darning foot unless you're using the quilt foot. Listen. That's the only time that I drop my feed dogs is when I'm using this one. Otherwise. Okay.
Where's the store closed?
Last strip. Okay? We're going to do it on here. So here is my last block. And then I'll show you what the back looks like when we're done. Because I know there were questions before about what it looks like on the back side once you have finished. So, because I'm doing a sewing video. So what we do here is we're just going to cut our strip again. I just didn't have one that was already pre-cut. So I'm just going to give this one a press because it has a little wrinkle in it. That one's done. And then I need another 2-inch strip. So this is the 2-inch strip that I'm talking about when I'm talking about doing the front side. I'm sorry, trying to talk and cut and think and do too much at one time. All right. So now, this is going to go on the front. This one goes on the back. This is the, sorry, I gotta get this right. This is the back. It is 1 inch. You want to cut a 1-inch strip. This is going to be your front. It is a 2-inch strip. You're going to iron this one in half. With strips, it depends on how big you want them. You can cut them as big as you want. You want them small as you want. I would say this would be the smallest that I would ever cut because it's going to be very difficult to work with. Okay? But you are more than welcome to. I actually cut it as 4 inches, so I would have a 2-inch strip on the front and a 2-inch strip on the back. It depends on how big your quilt is, how big your blocks are, what look you're going for. Like I said, there is no right or wrong, but this is really the kind of norm. What I'm showing you is kind of the norm for Quilt As You Go. Okay. So I'm going to take my 2-inch that I've ironed in half to 1 inch. Now I'm going to place that on the front of my block. And I'm going to locate my clips if I can, because I keep them often losing them. Okay. Now the back side. Okay. I'm going to put the 1-inch strip right here, raw edges. Then I'm just going to clip them together.
A little louder.
Going to clip them together. Sorry, not used to talking loud. Okay. So then we're going to stitch down. Is everything okay, Chris? Chris?
Huh?
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I off?
No, but didn't you want to change it back to the dark color?
Yeah, but it'll be okay for me.
Okay.
Thank you for catching. So, I just made a mistake and kept in my lighter thread when I wanted to do my darker thread. So, normally that would be an issue, but because I'm only sewing the seam to attach, it's not a big deal. But if I had done that once I had the block going, that would have been a huge problem. So right now I'm not worried. Okay, so you can see my boo-boo. It's yellow. It's easier for you guys to see it. So I'm going to change this right now before I forget, because I will forget again. And then you'll hear me saying all kinds of really bad words. what I should call myself, the bad words, or brings out the best in me. Okay. I need a machine that just threads for me. I mean, I know this is a self-threading machine, but boy, I need one that just goes bloop. Because being old and blind is not fun. Okay, now I'm going to iron this one on the back, this strip out again. And I'm going to press that as far as I can get it. Okay. And now I'm coming over here and I'm going to attach my last block. And I'm sure you figured out by now that this is a Harry Potter quilt. It's called the Project of Doom, and it's by Jennifer Ofenstein, I think is how you say her name. And the pattern is actually free. It's very fun to do and very challenging all at the same time. So now I'm going to make sure that my blocks are going in the right direction, which they are. And I'm going to line it up and then flip it to make sure that my raw edges are lined up with that block again, just like we did in the past. Okay, I'm going to put my little clips down. And of course this one wants to move because we're at the very end, and now that makes the fabric shift a little if you let it hang off the table. So we're going to clip. I gotta tell you, these clips are so much easier than pins. I can't tell you how many times I have stabbed myself with a pin. You still have to use pins when you're quilting. I find that these, for actual quilting purposes, are not. Sometimes you just can't get close enough to the block because you have all the batting and the fabric for the background. But for this, it's ideal. And then I'll show you what else I do with these clips. And then I clip them so that I don't have to fight with the fabric as I'm sewing. Now I am going to make sure that this block is not going to move, so I'm going to just clip my block, okay? Because I kind of want my blocks to be pretty even though all of mine are really crooked right now. So I'll cutter to back at the sewing machine. I got my walking foot on, and I'm just going to stitch down if I can get to be even. Okay, there we go. Put the foot down. Okay. Wants to pucker just because it's going through many layers, so it's a little bit stuck. All right, now we're done with that. Hook it. We have joined our last block. So I'm going to press the front again, press the seam down over it. Like I said, you can cut it. I did not cut mine. So it's your preference. If you want to sew through it, you can, which is fine with me. I don't care. I prefer to sew through it. It's just what I do. But you don't have to. And then I'm just going to clip here down at the bottom. And then I'm going to clip here up at the top, just so I can get myself started. And again, we're going to go to the sewing machine. We're going to straight stitch down as close to the edge as you can get. Okay.
So Barbara was asking what size squares you made.
These are 10-inch squares finished.
10-inch squares finished.
Yeah.
Amy says you're magical. You make it look so easy.
Thank you. It's not. For me, it's not. I actually prefer to make the quilt top itself and then quilt it. It's easier for me to go that way. But sometimes I will do a quilt as you go just because it's kind of fun and a little bit of a challenge. And this particular quilt, I wanted to have these little strips going so that it looked like it was an actual bookcase itself. But boy, I'll tell you what, a ton of work. And attaching the rows and the borders is going to be tough. But I'll show you guys how I do that too, so that you can see what it's like to put a big quilt together with Quilt As You Go. And now I'm going to go over this with my decorative stitch, and then I'll show you what the back of this looks like.
And then Deidre asked, where did you get the Harry Potter material?
Missouri Star Quilt Company. They have it. And I believe that Joann's is now carrying some of it. But if you go to Missouri Star Quilt Company, I think they had it on sale when I got it. And I think they're still running a sale on it, so you might want to check that out. Oh, shoot. So, I started sewing a straight line. I wanted to do my decorative stitch. I'm not worried about it, though. It'll just be a little more character, plus that'll get covered up by the rows that I attach to this quilt, so. Not a big deal. I just keep going on. And voila. That row is now finished. So all my rows are finished. Party time. Okay. So, here's what the front looks like, all pieced together, okay? And then here's what the back looks like when it's all pieced together. You might want to get a close-up of this so they can actually see what it looks like. Okay? So here is what the stripping looks like on the back side of the quilt. It's going to look like that. Okay. So I'm going to sign off for now. I'm going to go and cut my strips from my bookshelves, and when I'm ready to start again, I will post another video. And then you guys can watch it whenever you have time. So thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.